Sound selection so far is one of the most important things when you are making music. And in this video, I want to show you my full process, and this is going to be your full guide A to Z sound selection, how I pick sounds for my tracks and how you can start picking the sounds that will make your track sound unique, professional, and as good, if not better, than your favorite artist. I know it's a bold claim, but I can promise if you follow the principles that I'm going to teach you in this video, you will achieve a really, really amazing sound in your music. And before we start, I want to tell you a story. It will be a really good example of why picking good sounds is really important. So it is, I think, May 2022. I started DJing for like a couple of months and I played in one venue. So there's the guy who invited me, is my friend, kind of big producer here in Riga. I played the DJ set in that venue. It was about like 1 hour something. I played maybe 12, maybe 15 of my tracks. And by the end of the set, people started approaching me and telling me like, yo, dude, the set was so amazing. I loved the mixture of the sound, how you transitioned from one track to another one. And I told the dude, hey man, thank you very much. I appreciate the feedback. And these are all my tracks. And he was like, ooh, wow, like that was impressive. That was impressive. Why am I telling you this story? This is one of the examples that illustrates why having your signature sound is important. And what he told me? He told me it's such a good mixture of tech house, top techno, psychedelic, minimal. This is my sound, right? This is what I enjoy making as a producer. And this is what I'm teaching you guys like in all my videos, that hey, like don't be afraid to push your sound, push it out. So like, you know, make the music that you want. This is super, super important. So if not that, if I would have tried copying other people, I wouldn't get such nice feedback. And it was like a couple of people who approached me after the set telling me that the set was amazing and they were impressed by the quality of music. So this is why sound selection is so, so important. And one of the biggest things that will help you with sound selection is having your signature sound. And I'm going to talk about that in the video. So that's the backstory. Now let's start. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Vlad and I create superstar music producer. So if you need help with your music, whether it's finding your signature sound, mixing, mastering, arrangement, anything, there's a link down below. Feel free to book a call with me or send me a message on Instagram. And without further talking, let's get started with the video. And one of the quotes for today is going to be, you will not be able to pick sounds until you decide and get clear on what you want, period. If you don't know what kind of sound you're going for, you will not be able to find these sounds that will fit, period. That's it. That's it. Very important to understand. Now let's talk about that in a bit more details. So direction. This is super, super important. So you always want to have a clear goal, a clear vision, because that's gonna help you a lot with writing music, finishing music, and overall just like in life. When you know what you want, you do what you need. You take little steps that will help you to achieve what you want at the end of the day. And quite often, you know, I work one-on-one with my clients, for example. I see a lot of comments online, under other YouTube videos, Instagram content, like literally everywhere. And a lot of people are struggling with picking the sounds. And the reason is actually quite simple. They just don't know where to go, what kind of sound they want. So it's not like the problem that they can't pick the sounds, they just don't know how to pick the sounds that would work for their track. And this is super, super important, right? How can you get results if you don't even know where to go? So it's just as simple as that. So be specific, decide what you want. So as an example, let's say we are going for minimal tech house, organic house, whatever is the thing, right? So minimal organic house combined with tech house. If we are going for that, we are not going to go and make hard techno, right? That's the point. Once you understand that, hey, how do drums and tech house usually sound? Can I find some references? Okay, so I find the references and then I reference that. And then it can give you a lot of ideas. Quite often I don't use references when I'm producing music. For mixing, I always do. That's very important. But if you want tech house or you want organic house, you want pop, you're not gonna go and make dark techno, drum and bass, right? So you're not gonna select the samples that would work for that. Now, let's jump back to Ableton I'm going to show you the track. This is the track from 2022. I want to release it sometime soon, maybe next year. And I'm going to show you these specific examples. This is going to be very, very important. So I will replace the drums. I will work a little bit on like a new bass line to illustrate those concepts in action. So let me play you the track first. This is how the track sounded before with all the original sounds. Let's check it out. This is the track. Actually, wait, those were wrong hats. Once more time. I don't know what genre this is. To me, it's like my signature minimal tech house kind of like that, right? So I want to break down each element specifically and teach you the concepts. I'm not going to teach you like what to do. I'm going to teach you how to do it, and then you will be able to do it on your own really, really well. So let me just check the presentation if I do have, I actually do have the next slide, right? What I want to add on top before we jump in back into Ableton. It's okay to deviate and fuse genres and sounds, just make sure it sounds cohesive. So I could theoretically use some drum loops from hard techno, from dark techno, whatever is the thing, right? But if it doesn't sound cohesive with the vibe that I have, it's just not gonna work. That's the thing that you have to understand. So it is okay to do so. Do not try to limit yourself in that way. Like I mean, like too much, obviously. But try to stick with the vibe that you have set for yourself in this specific track, right? Again, your sound is a combination of all the inspirations. So I recently stumbled across a very cool video with the title headline, "Do not try to be unique, do this." And this is something that I want to record like a new video about as well. Do not try to be unique. Just combine your influences and that will form your sound. This will shape your sound, right? So this is sort of the combination. Let's say one is going to be like melodic techno, organic house, whatever is the thing. And then you combine all of that. So now let's jump back into Ableton and I will show you some of the new drums that I decided to replace just for fun, right? So we'll start with the kick and the bass here. So those are the original drums. Actually quite cool, but they need a bit of work and like polish, if I had to be honest with you. Still like quite cool. I'm loving those drums, right? So let's take a look. First, I want to compare the claps a little bit. So I decided to go with different drums, but in the same sort of genre, in the same vibe as the original track. Very important. Let's compare those. Cool, right? I like that. The new claps are really good. Let's start, let's do the original ones. And the new ones. They have a bit more depth and low frequencies. Again, it's just one layer if we are talking about the original one. In here, it is, I think, yeah, it's like 3 layers. But then again, the vibe, as you can see, it is very similar. Although I selected, if I play you the samples on their own, let's mute the reverb. So those are the 3 samples that I have. And then if we go to the original one, show in browser, they are all very, very similar. So even though I picked different samples, the vibe remains completely the same. This is something that will help you a lot with the sound selection. Again, I know what kind of vibe that I'm going for in this track. It's minimal tech house. It's not very aggressive. It's pretty smooth. It's my style, right? So that's the thing. Let's talk about the hats a little bit more. I didn't replace all the samples, but I did replace the main ones, obviously, right? So here, and if we go and listen to the original one, And I could actually combine the old hats with the new claps. So you see, it sounds quite cool. There's no magic in here, right? I'm not doing anything like extraordinary. I just know, hey, okay, so I have minimal tech house, a little bit organic. So what kind of sounds can I pick for that? Do I pick drum and bass samples? Although I could, do I really need that? Not sure, right? But here I know, okay, so I need to pick very similar kind of claps, and I did that, and it sounds really cool. I like it a lot. But then again, if we go and listen to the new ones, they will also work with the previous clap, right? So something like, but I still feel like this, the clap needs a little bit of body, the audio one, I mean, right? So this is sort of the concept, right? So we are talking about the drums. Let me just double check if I do have anything here. Not yet. We'll actually talk about the next steps in the process. I'll show you a bit more examples of that. Okay, so now, what I want to talk about is going to be the sound selection for the melodic elements. So that's going to be the bass, that's going to be the lead sounds, and so on. So let's start with the bass line. If you listen to the original one, it's actually very soft. I just love those kind of deep, subby basses with almost no mid and high frequencies, right? If I solo this, nice, love that. And then as an example, I'm gonna show you the one that I made, obviously I made it to illustrate that this is gonna be a wrong bass line that will not work with the sound that we have, right? So even though the sound itself is actually quite cool, like I like it a lot, but it will not work with the sounds that we have, right? So it is, with the drums, it's fine. But then understanding that the high frequencies are occupied by the lead sound, this will give you an understanding that it is just busy, right? You cannot put more if it's already busy. So once I play with the lead sound here, so it doesn't sound that good, right? So what I could do here is, again, yes, I could put a filter, and then this will solve the problem. So essentially it becomes the same bass, right? So it is one of the examples that you can use. Again, so think about, do I need more elements? How do they sound together? Do they sound good? And so on. I'll give you the framework by the end of this video, so don't worry. Okay, and then you just continue with this mindset, right? So what is the sound that I'm going for? Do the sound, like if I have to be honest with myself, do the sounds that I have in the track, do they sound good together, right? Obviously, I mean, it's easy for me because I've been making music from 2016, right? But the more you train, the more tracks you make, the easier it will become for you. Again, like this is where references will come in handy, right? So you can check the reference, what kind of drums they have, what kind of sounds they have, arrangement, how many sounds are playing at the same time, and so on. So be analytical. This is what I do, right? I'm analytical, but because I am so clear at my own sound, this all happens like subconsciously. I hear the sound, I'm like, okay, so this is enough, right? So that is sort of the thing. Now, I want to talk about a couple of other tracks actually, because that is pretty much it. Like I was a bit frustrated because I thought it would be a long video, but then I just realized that, hey, actually it can be quite short because the concept is so simple, right? So let's talk about the next things. So real life example number one. I'll show you another track. So I wanted, before I show it to you, I wanted to have deep tech kind of minimal drums for this track, short and punchy samples, a bit gritty, and so on, right? Not sure if I'm talking though about the original one or the next example that I'm going to show you. But look, those two tracks are quite similar. So we could say pretty much the same thing. So short and punchy cymbals, a bit gritty, but not muddy, right? So this is another track that I made, and they could easily go in one EP because the vibe is so similar. But then again, I knew what kind of sound I wanted to go for. Again, minimal tech house, a bit of deep house, dub techno. So check it out. Again, this is another track from 2022. I'm going to release it soon. Like, I really like the vibe in those three tracks that I'm going to show you, right? So if we go back, again, like if I look at the description, it might not be like exactly for this track, because I think I talked about the original ID because it fits more like from what I can hear, right? So if we listen to this one, the description will feel exactly as the track in that context, right? So if I solo, let's do like this. So again, so this is going to be deep tech, minimal, short and punchy samples, a bit gritty, and so on. So again, be very specific with a clear goal in mind. This is the concept. Like, I can teach you as many techniques as you want. I can teach you what to do, but if you don't know how to do it, you'll not be able to apply the knowledge that I'm sharing here with you, right? So it's more about the philosophy. It's more about the thinking process, how you can think in order to achieve a really good sound selection in your track. So that is the concept. Okay. Now, let me show you a couple of other tracks, and then we're gonna wrap up with the questions, the framework that you can use to pick better sounds for your tracks, so you can sound much better. Okay, so another track is going to be this one. Again, this is very similar to the first two, and I'm sure you will see that, you'll hear that it's actually true. And now let's compare to another one, to the first one. They are so similar because I essentially just took the drop, I remade the melody a little bit, I remade the structure, but the main core, like the core of the track, the foundation, my sound selection, my signature sounds, all of that is present in the second run. So you can see, I just reuse what works for me. That's sort of the thing. Do not try to reinvent the wheel, because you already have something that is working. You can take that, and with the framework that I'm going to give you at the end of this video, just fine-tune that. Fine-tune that. Again, let's break down another example. So real life example number 2. I wanted to have organic vibe overall with a lot of live recorded instruments. I wanted hybrid bass line with orchestral drums. I do have like the master file, right? So I cannot show you individually, but basically it's the bass line that I layered with the orchestral drums. You can think about percussive bass line, right? So main bass, some big drums, percussion sounds, and so on. Okay, and then let's listen to those tracks. You're actually going to be quite surprised, because once I show you the beginning, you will understand how to do it. Trust me. Check this out. Let's listen to the second one. It essentially is the same track. First one. right? And once I play you the second one, so again, even though these two tracks are like 70% the same, like essentially, if I have to be honest, it's still quite some difference in terms of the sound selection. But what I want to illustrate is I was clear on what I wanted to achieve. And this description, obviously it's not like 100% descriptive. It is exactly what I wanted in the track. So you see, that's the thinking process that will help you, right? This is something that works for myself, and I can promise if you ask yourself the questions that I'm going to share with you just in a minute, you'll be able to pick much better sounds for your tracks. So, and then just one more minute of track demo. And then the first one. And then here. So that's going to be it. So we are done with the demonstration, and let's transition to the juiciest part of this video, which is going to be the checklist. So those are the questions that you can always ask yourself when you're making the track. Again, so what kind of kick and bass do I want for my track? And you answer the question. So I want to have organic kick and the bass line, or I want to have hard techno, punchy, progressive, percussive, you name it. What kind of lead sounds do I want? Again, be specific. Is it long melodies, short melodies, punchy, gritty? What is the character? What kind of chords, pads, and harmonic sounds do I want? Is it going to be live instruments? Is it going to be pads? What is it going to look like? What kind of effects do I want? Again, is it going to be just very basic noise effects? Or maybe like you have a track without effects. I actually have a track which has almost no effects, right? What kind of reverb and delay do I want? Again, like you have to design the track in your head and then be specific. Hey, this is my goal and this is what I'm trying to achieve at the end of the day. How should the track feel? Again, this is just like, it's a basic checklist. The more of these questions you can answer, the better it will be at the end of the day, that sort of thing. Again, so you want to describe all the details and be very specific. What do you want? Once you get the basic idea done, be honest and ask yourself, was I able to achieve the idea that I wanted? Again, sometimes you can deviate, sometimes you can, make something different. But the most important thing is, again, have the clear goal in mind, and this is how you achieve your sound. This is how you pick sounds, this is how you achieve your signature sounds, and so on. So that's going to be pretty much it for this video. And if you have a clear goal in mind, right? If you have a signature sound that you want to achieve, but you are struggling with the technical things, you know what you want to do, but you don't know how to do it, right? So feel free to book a call with me. I would be happy to chat and help you with your music. So let's work on that together and let's get your music to the next level in 2024. All right, guys, so that's going to be it for this video. I hope you liked it. I tried to share as much as I can and make it like as simple as possible. And yeah, that's going to be it. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.